I played in a band before this. We were called, our band name was awful. We were called Dry Rain. But I remember every band practice, my brother sang in that band, and we would always start out every band practice being like, "Are you ready, Wembley?"
Yeah.
It sounds like pumped up.
It's got to be done.
Yeah.
I had a question. So you mentioned earlier about people preferring singles, and I actually started this like open online course thing a little while ago now, maybe a year ago, which was all about music history, just because I was kind of interested in it, and it was really genuinely interesting. A lot of the stuff they're talking about. How the music industry started as people selling sheet music and stuff like that. But one of the interesting things was in sort of the 50s, 60s, when kind of rock and roll came out, the single was the popular format. And then gradually, as they got the ability to put more songs on a vinyl, and then led into 12-inch, that's when albums became popular. And then that kind of continued through the 90s as everyone bought, the CD versions of the albums they used to own. That kind of trend continued. And then they were sort of saying Napster kind of killed it all, and it was all about playlists, and therefore it was all about singles. But I'm interested in so you mentioned you really like albums, and I really like albums as well, but I'm interested in your opinion on where you think that will go. Do you think it's cyclical? Do you think the album will come back? Or do you think people are just fickle? What are your thoughts on that generally?
That's like a really interesting. I've never thought about the fact. You're right. Like the 50s, 60s, you had guys like, I guess like guys like Elvis just releasing singles.
Buddy Holly.
Yeah, Buddy Holly.
Yeah, and right the way up to like Fleetwood Mac, "Oh Well," which is such a great tune. You can't buy it on an album because it was never released on one. And then obviously that became Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, and then it sort of went separate anyway. But there's so many tunes by bands that you think are kind of their classic song, and you can't find it on an album until later on when someone puts it on as a bonus track or a compilation or whatever. But yeah, that was the thing.
I think it's interesting what you're saying about like playlists, and I agree kind of that's, if we're going to talk about what's the hot thing right now, playlists seem to be the hot thing, because people are always like, oh, do you like have it on Spotify so I can put it on a playlist, or do you have your music up on SoundCloud so I can add it to my playlist? So I think you're right about that being a really popular method right now, but I think you bring up a good point in that things have changed throughout the course of time. I mean, vinyl is coming back in huge numbers. People always ask us at shows, like, oh, why do you have CDs? Why don't you have vinyl? Like, no one would have asked us that question even 3 years ago.
Right.
So it's interesting to see how things change, and yeah, you don't really know where it's going to go, and I think that's why it's important still to do what you want to do. Like, I'm not going to pander and just release like one single every month or something. Like, I like the completeness of an album, and that's kind of what I like to do, so I'm going to write it that way. So who knows, maybe it will come back at some point, but yeah, I think it is an ever-changing thing.
I think playlists are interesting because, I used to make mixtapes for girlfriends and things like that. That was essentially a playlist, right?
True, yeah.
So it's kind of, we've gone back to that. But then when you think about it, a playlist is an album. It's just a compilation album. So
yeah, it's true.
What does that do?
That's a good point. You just ruined my argument.
No, I added to it. I didn't.
No, I'll bet.
Yeah. I didn't mean to spoil it. And then the other thing I was going to ask, Bailey's going to think I'm mental, but last week we got onto a conversation with Martin, Mr. Happy Chainsaw, somehow, where I was doing these quick fire questions, and one of them was Mac or PC. And it just, you reminded me when you mentioned your iPhone, you reminded me of that whole sort of part of the interview. And I thought, do you know what? I've still got loads of these sorts of questions that I haven't asked people because someone mentioned to me earlier in the week, I liked what you did there. Have you got any more? So I'm going to ask you a couple of quick fire questions, but I won't do it for ages like I did last week. Okay. I think I was drinking whiskey last week.
Yeah, I'll try to be good at this. I've done this before and I'm awful at it. So.
To be honest, they're a bit. It's off the top of my head, so I don't know where this will go. But the best one I heard this week was: would you rather have the power of invisibility or telepathy?
Oh man, I think I'd just rather be invisible. Like, just way easier.
What, permanently, rather than being able to choose?
Yeah, I'd just rather just be invisible.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think telepathy, like, you'd be getting too many people's thoughts. It'd have to be, like, controlled. Like, I'd have to be able to flick a switch and turn it on.
Batman or Superman?
Yeah.
Oh, Batman or Batman.
Yeah. All right, continue, Mike. I'm done.
He's like the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that man's awesome. Because the thing with Superman is he's all like, I'm going to fly around the world and turn back time and I'm really fast and everything else. And Batman's like, I'm going to punch you in the face.
He's just like, honestly, he's just a spoiled rich kid.
Yeah, pretty much, eh?
That's all he is.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
We'd all love to have a Batcave.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And no, but I don't care what anybody says, but I still say Michael Keaton was the best Batman.
Oh, that's interesting. I liked the trilogy with
Christian Bale. Yeah.
I thought I was never into comics, but I had a lot of friends that were, and they quite rightly pointed out that they are sort of the truest. Because the comics are really dark, aren't they?
Yeah.
As long as no one picks Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you could easily make an argument for Adam West though as well, just for different reasons to arguing for anyone else.
But Adam West was just funny though. That was the thing. Is like the sense of humor was so dry, just it could make you laugh, right? So, and you got to think too, because that was like what, the 50s when that series came out, right? So, but either way, I mean, in a R.I.P. Adam West, but man, he was fantastic, and like I've told the story many times, and he's just as loopy a person as he is in the characters he plays and the cameos he does or has done. And Mike knows the story real quick. Jeff, is years ago I worked for an airline, and I knew he was coming in because he was coming in for a car show. They're doing a dedication to the Batmobile here in London, Ontario, and he was coming in, so I waited for him to come in, and I know Madam got a picture taken with him, and I know I told him, I said, no, I loved all the Batman series because I've seen the Batman series before, and I said all his cameos, so like Mayor West on Family Guy, and no, he for some reason he was on news radio and said he was DB Cooper, but the thing was, it was awesome because I got the picture taken with him. Then after he's done the picture, his exact words, he goes, "Where's the picture in this place?" And I was like, "It's right behind you." Yeah, exactly. It's right behind you. He goes, "Thank you." He goes, "Compliments of Mayor West," and he took off. I was like, "Man, that was amazing." Like, I wish I had the audio to that because I was dying laughing. Like, that was killing me.
That's absolutely awesome. I'll do one more quick fire question and then we'll go back to reality. Would you rather, if you had to live on top of a mountain or on a desert island, which one would you do? Which one do you prefer?
Man, these are hard.
Phrasing.
They are, aren't they? Someone's put a lot of, I mean, this is group sourcing here.
Phrasing.
On the internet with people, but there's some good things in there.
I think I'd do the desert island just because I could probably build a boat, and then if I got sick of myself, I could get off the island. But I don't know, top of a mountain would be really cold into that. I'd rather just be on the desert island by myself, just hanging out, drinking like coconut water or something. I don't know. This is a hard question.
You know what?
It's tricky because you're right. It would be cold on top of the mountain, but then it would be really hot on an island. So after a while,
but you'd have the water, right? I'm thinking you have the water to cool you down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm following that.
Unless there's a hot spring on top of the mountain, I'm picking the desert, the desert island.
Fair enough. No, there's no hot spring that I'm aware of on this fictional mountain.
Okay. Next time, can you check for me and then let me know next time if there is?
We'll just assume there isn't one because it's made up. Just to ground this. I mean, come on. No, I will. I'll do my research better next time.
There we go.
Good. Thank you for that. I might make that a thing.
You know what? Just before we move in,
questions you might ask people on a date. Sorry, go on, mate.
Just before we move on to the last song of the night for Jeff and Western Jaguar, just a quick connection to Family Guy because of the desert island. When they do the takeoff on what's it called, the Tom Hanks movie,
Oh yeah.
You know,
Castaway.
Castaway, right? It's like Wilson, because Wilson, what are you gonna do? My name is Foyt, dumbass. You know what I mean? It says Foyt on the volleyball. So there's the quick little kind of funny connection there. But we're gonna get to one more song here by Western Jaguar. This one's called Voyager. Dig this.
Close your eyes and count to 10. I'm here waiting once again. Standing on your porch with a long